Our Kayla Moody has been down in front there on Main Street. What's the latest, Kayla?
Well, Doug, they just had us move back 50 feet in fear that the building might collapse. You can see behind me, there's one window that they are really focusing their efforts on. Initially, when we got here, they were using a chainsaw to try to access that window. They've now been rushing gallons and gallons and gallons of water through that window ever since. It does appear the situation is somewhat improving, but they are still in defensive mode. Again, everyone was out of this building. And no one was inside when the fire started, and everyone has been evacuated in the connecting buildings related to Whiskey Row. Now, everyone has been asked to step back. They are afraid that this structure is not structurally sound. They are afraid that it could collapse, and just as a precaution, they're having everyone except for firefighters step back. But again, fire crews have not yet been inside this building. It's still too strong of a fire, too heavy smoke for them to go inside. We do know this was a vacant building, that this is one that was one of the ones that was being renovated. But it does appear that this building, it looks like it's the second or third one in, is where they're really focusing their efforts. It appears on the second level is where most of the water is currently going in. Since I talked to you guys last, they've started putting more water into the top level of this building. But so far, we have not received any official information from the fire department. We have just been told that this is still a defensive operation. Again, that means that the firefighters cannot go inside. It's still too unsafe for them to do so. We have been told that we will be briefed at some time. However, we've not given any indication as to when that might be. Certainly, as soon as we get any more information, we'll come back out to you guys live.
Kayla, have you been able to pinpoint on whether they were working on those buildings today? I know we've asked you that before, and maybe that'll come out in the briefing later.
Yeah, so far have not heard any indication that there was construction going on today. However, we do know that there was lots of construction happening right in this area recently. So certainly a good question to ask, and I will be asking around to some people. So far, the people I've asked, no one really knew if any construction was happening. We do know that nothing was happening inside that building just because it was vacant when this fire broke out. However, we don't know if any construction was happening outside in that building's immediate exterior.
And Kayla, while we have you here, we can see how thick the smoke is out there. Can you talk to us what it feels like being so close there? Is it hard to breathe out there? I know people have been told to leave the nearby buildings, but what does it feel like down there?
You know, it's a very tense situation. I think it really kind of scared everyone who was just kind of bystanding, you know, with their cameras out, taking video, taking pictures. When the fire department came through and said, back up, you know, we're afraid this might collapse. The mood really turned out here. People were a little bit scared when that happened because before, you know, it was just one of those things that a lot of people, they never see except for on TV, and it was happening right in front of them, and they just wanted to watch and sightsee it almost. But then once they heard that their life could be in danger from watching this, certainly changed the tone a little bit. But as you can see, there's still quite a few people out here watching this scene. Again, smoke still billowing from the building. They're not able to get inside yet. That smoke very strong. I'm sure you could probably smell it all over downtown. I could tell even as soon as we walked out of our station just over there on West Chestnut Street that we could smell the smoke over there. So certainly this is something that a lot of people are getting experience of, whether they're right outside here or not. This smoke is going to be traveling quite a ways away from this scene. But certainly a hectic scene. It looks like they're actually pushing the perimeter back a little bit further right now. There were some people up in front of us, and they're pushing us further and further back. It looks like we might actually have to move here in a second. We're waiting to find out right now.
Move back to Market Street.
Yep, and we are having to move back to Market Street. So they're wanting us to move back even further. So we're going to move back. Whenever we're able to set back up, we'll come back to you guys live, okay?
Okay, you're going to move the block away on Market Street. Let's go to Kayla Moody. She is on the ground. She's been moved to Market Street. Kayla, I know you're witnessing for this from the ground. It's quite a scene.
Well, Doug, I'll tell you what, I've never seen anything quite like this. Right now, we're more than 50 feet away from this building. This is the third time that we've been moved in fear that this building could collapse. Now, take a look behind me. You can see just how far we are away from the scene. We can feel those flames that are shooting out of that building. We can feel the heat from them. We're all over here sweating because that fire is so strong. Most of us were talking about how just, you know, in all the fires that all of us have covered before in this media staging area, none of us have ever really seen anything quite like this. Again, when we first arrived on scene, it was just smoke that we saw billowing from the windows, billowing from the top of the building. And then all of a sudden, just moments ago, this huge flame just shot up from the roof. out of nowhere, seemingly. And then now you can see the flames inside the building. It does appear that fire crews are very afraid that this building could collapse. We were told when we were standing closer that we were in the collapse zone. This is, again, the third time we've been moved. We are more than 50 feet away. They've roped off everyone around the area, keeping everyone away, because if that building falls, they think it will fall forward, but they're not quite sure. Now, as these flames are flying out the top of the building, you can actually see debris coming up with them. I've seen pieces of wood, lumber going up in the air. And then, of course, you can see all the water that they're pouring in on this. It looks like they're pouring it in from at least 2, 3, maybe even 4 directions right now. They're trying to just get as much water on this building as they can. Again, what we know so far is that no one was inside this building when this fire broke out. We do know that there's been lots of construction going on in this area in an attempt to renovate these very buildings that are on fire. But again, we do not know if any construction work was happening today. We do know that no construction work was happening inside the building. However, we don't know if anyone was working outside. We have not received any official information from fire crews right now. We do know this is still a defensive operation. No firefighters have been inside the building. No one has been hurt. Right now they have EMS on standby just in case something happens to a firefighter. Again, this is a very dangerous situation that they're in. It's very dangerous for the firefighters who are operating this, and it looks like we're about to get updated. So I will get some more information right now, and I will bring you guys an update. Or if you want to roll on this live, just Lena, if you could just let me know in my ear if you guys want to roll on this right now. We're going to get an update from the fire captain. All right. This will be Sal Melendez with the fire department, Captain Sal Melendez.
Tony, are you gonna periscope this? Tony. About to get an update from
1 second.
Right now the fire captain is getting ready to brief the media. We're going to take him live as soon as he starts talking. This will be our first time getting official information on this fire. Again, we just saw flames shooting at the top, and the last thing that we were told was that this was still a defensive operation. Fire crews had not been inside the building yet. We do know that everyone was out of the building. No one was inside the building when it started. It does look like the flames have died down a little bit since we saw them moments ago shooting outside, but still a very active fire, still a very active situation. Right now we're getting ready to hear from Captain Sal Melendez. He's getting ready to brief us right now. And again, that update from Captain Sal Melendez, now saying that they are bracing for a collapse here at the Whiskey Row building. They have said that this is a 3-alarm fire. There are around 75 firefighters working to fight this blaze. Again, this is still a defensive operation. No firefighters have been inside. They said the fire is just too strong, too rapid to put anyone inside this building. He has confirmed that there are no injuries. No firefighters have been harmed, and everyone else was evacuated from the premises and from the surrounding buildings. But again, you can still see flames coming out of this building. But I'm going to toss back to you guys now at the desk. Again, we did just hear that update from Captain Sal Melendez with the Louisville Fire Department.
All right, thank you, Kayla.